plankton. You know the key word? Swan. Now, I'm going to move one step further to sing swan. You see, before in the communist period, when I was in the 70s, the Chinese, you don't have to do this, the Chinese is simple. But when you do the Chinese, you got to run out. Now, how many from mainland China? Yeah, not offending the mainland Chinese, right? Just really telling you that competition have gone one notch higher, precisely because the Chinese are very good in singing swan. I'll illustrate you one simple example: oil. You know, the whole world success will depend on who control oil, energy, and technology. These three items. Now, of course, the Russians. I give you an example of Russians and the Chinese negotiating about the oil price. Right, you see, when you do business, alright, it's accountant never called to the table. How many were called to the table to sit with your bosses when they negotiate the deal and calculate all the costing? How many of you have that experience? No. You always, after the deal is signed, the accountant take care of polishing up the figures, right? That's reality, and that's hasn't changed, right? Now, what I'm saying to you is that, right, when the deal is being struck between the Russian general, and of course in Russia, all the ex-general become businessmen, you know, right? And then you have the Chinese businessmen negotiating the deal. That's why you find that, right, when you study accounting, right, there is no sing swan, right? But this is accounting that really matters because the cost, the selling price will determine the profits. And of course, you know, the Russians are very good for drinking. Right? Both parties get drunk, that's the best part of it. Right? Then they can agree to any deal and they shake their hands on, right? But very importantly is that we should understand a bit more on the biology of profit making. In other words, how to drink, what to drink when you strike a deal. This is a very important art. So that you agree on the right price, you strike the right deal. Doing business with Chinese, you know, right? When I go to China, I was a consultant to Teck. I told them there's only one condition. You got to bring me a GM, right, who drinks, but I don't drink. I brought a certificate, a fake one, of course, you know. Right, where I say my liver is a problem. You cannot match the Chinese on drinking, but yet it's very important because all this costing is elevated. Once you agree on a low price, or you buy at too high a price, the accountant in the back room cannot do magic. And yet, so this is the important biology of profit making. And why it's part of Chinese culture. No way you can tell the Chinese that, you know, you have a deal and don't drink wine. No way. And of course, right, and this is a very important fact. Oil reserves. India is losing out to China in securing contracts. Meaning to say, in the long run, China can sell back to the Indians oil at a high premium price. And now, but don't take from me, right? Now, every statement that I make, I do a lot of research to back it up. Right? And of course, this comes from Business Week. Whenever we have seen the Indians and Chinese tussle, the Chinese have been faster, more aggressive in attaining their objective. Right? Says Stephen Sullivan, head of research at United Financial Group. Right? This can't go on forever, otherwise, right, China become reseller of oil. First step, you must measure. Second step, estimate. Then calculate and then assess the risk, whether you can win or not. In other words, if you want to look at historical record, there's a archaeological finding of the Art of War, right? Then I think this is probably the first thesis on step-by-step approach to accounting, to budgeting. And of course, the Chinese term for accounting is very interesting. Now, why I'm saying in China, because in the future, when MNCs come out of China and then dominate the world, and as they're doing that, in fact, China is actually going to set up a factory in France. Right? They're going to outsource the final assembly to the French to do it. They have bought over companies in Japan. Right? So the coming of a transformation is on the way. Right? And then the Chinese says that 会计师, or as I pronounce 会计师, right? 会计师 beginning, right? 计 and then 第 is the plan. Right? Meaning to say that, you see, so it's the first chapter on strategy, right? Is you must plan. Begin with a plan or strategy, number one. And therefore you have this word there, 计, 会计师. Right, planning. And you want to be phonetically, right? Phonetically, that this is quite, right? Means you must be fast. Okay, now, so this is the book that was published. I'm told that you have given everyone a copy of that. You got very grateful to them, to ACCA. You have to really, and of course, this book was chosen. I'm not trying to market my book. This book probably long, some time ago already. But when it first came out, it made an impact, right? And the Oxford professors was a bit surprised that, you know, and this bookshop was in Oxford. And they chose the book for the book of the month, and then later they chose it as spring choice. And of course, I did the complete Art of War series with SIM in 2004, and we had got the this is directional, like a compass, north, south, east, west. So Chinese believe in planning, but of a different kind from what you learn in MBA, the Gluet model. Now, what is a T? T is a plan of where you're going, where you're heading, which direction you're taking. And I think the Chinese leadership is really very good in managing China over the last 30 years. Right? So to counter Napoleon as a strategist, you must grasp this one, strategic thinking. In other words, the Chinese, because of the culture of strategy in China, they are not, whenever they face a competitor, they will ask, what is the strategic thinking of the company? Right? 计对计 is the approach the Chinese is going to take. So, you'll find that, now what I did was, after I completed this book, right, finding that, oh, ASEAN CEOs really, right, they behave as though they're following Sun Tzu Ping Fa. I did a second work. And this second work, right, I did was actually to psychoanalyze Sun Tzu and to ask where on earth and how on earth did he come up with these strategic ideas. And this book, right, and I call it the biopsychoanalysis of Sun Tzu. And then you'll find that because of this work, right, Americans, right, I've sold to the Americans. So I will show you, right, a video clip that you can get from YouTube, and you may want to buy the CD, the VCD, right? And it will convince you that Americans, the world's superpower, the last power on earth, that should be embracing a world that's 2,500 years old. The Americans, the superpower, they now are so completely to Art of War.